Welcome to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and us, all using red words.
Using red words. Black.
I love you. You are my girl. I say,
He sounds so uncomfortable when he's singing.
You know what song it is?
Huh?
You know what song it is?
Yeah.
What song is it?
you don't have to call. It's okay, girl. Cause I'ma be alright tonight.
I was trying to find the harmony, but I couldn't, man.
Don't worry about it, bro.
And
Don't
ain't
worry
got
about it.
nothing.
You gotta let it
We
ride,
out
bro.
ya.
Ain't nothing.
You gotta let it ride, bro.
We
Ain't no
out
harmony.
ya.
You gotta let it ride.
Oh my God. What episode is this?
This is
Ooh.
episode
We're RedIn30.
Arton.
Arton.
Is that Spanish?
This is not Spanish.
Oh, what is
What
this?
is it?
Arton. This is Swedish.
Swedish.
Swedish for 18 is Arton.
Is that really the accent they have?
I
though?
do not know.
He got he an African. He's a sweet African.
Africa
He a
slash-
Swafrican. That
Yo,
boy's
that's what she is.
she's Swafrican
Hey,
American.
she sure is.
She is.
She's Swafrican
She's
American.
African.
That's a new one. Hey, y'all heard it here first. Swafrican American. RedIn30, guys. RedIn30.
Yeah.
RedIn30.com. Welcome.
Let me do the intro.
Do
we
it.
have the wonderful
Oh my
DM.
God. All right.
The
Hey.
fresh.
Hey,
Woo, woo.
Oh, whoa.
We have the Spanish speaking.
Boy, you got one of them uncle
Swedish
holes.
speaking. Jeremiah missing his thing, but that's okay.
Yo, I'm English.
We have Pastor J in the building.
Woo, woo, woo. Hit me one time. Hit me one time. Hit me one time. And then we got the
Show
lovely
me.
Nakia.
Hello.
The lovely Nakia.
Nakia.
Stop.
You
Some
are
people say it
Swafrican
like
too.
that now.
You are Swafrican. You are Swafrican.
So powerful.
Straight
Nakia.
from the city of Nakumandi.
There it is, right there. That's it.
He's supposed
Well,
to
we
say
here.
Wakanda.
We here. This is great.
That's
Episode
so common.
18.
That's so regular. That's so
Yeah.
expected.
Queen Nakia has been.
Nobody expects Nakumandi.
Not gonna delete
Your
that.
eyes,
That's a
though.
different place from the first one you said. That girl from two different places.
That boy is speaking in tongues.
Oh my God. So we're here, RedIn30,
Yes.
RedIn30.com. RedIn30, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you, all using red words. We love the
Red
entire
words.
Bible. We believe that the Bible is a story about you and us.
Yep.
But we love the red words because we believe that the red words tell us exactly who we are in the story.
Yeah.
Because they are the words of
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus
So-
Christ.
So
better.
it really tells us identity, and Jesus is always saying that same thing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes this might be somebody's first episode watching, so that's why we say it over.
Yeah.
But Jesus always tells us the same thing. He's,
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
my name is
RedIn30.
Jesus Christ. But the red words are really telling us identity.
Yeah.
It's more being than doing. Doing is great, but doing is empty if you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't. The being makes doing eternal. And so we just have to remember that. And Jesus is always telling us who we are. He's enabling us. He's telling us who we are, despite what somebody else told us, or despite what we think about ourselves,
Yep.
despite mistakes or victories or whatever it is that we try to define ourselves by. He always tells us, "Listen, don't ever forget that you're one with God."
Yeah.
And that's the biggest picture.
Yeah.
So I love it. Jesus, truth, and you all
Yeah.
using red words.
Red words.
So we rolling. This is
Yeah.
episode 18. And,
Arton.
we're here, and we got a good one today.
Yep.
I think we have a really good one, and we got a bunch of places we can go with it.
We're gonna talk about what y'all usually probably don't think about or talk about.
Yeah, well, that's like what RedIn30 is
Lost
about.
files.
Yeah. Are we talking about Lost Files? No, we ain't talking about Lost Files today. Are we talking
Yeah,
about Lost Files?
technically,
No,
we
wasn't Lost Files
don't. They
today.
don't go into.
Yo, did you miss the prep
story.
meeting?
She did. Well, no, she was right here
No.
with it.
No.
And then she just jumped out. I
It
was
goes
like,
together because they don't really go into his life as a carpenter.
okay.
They
I was
don't.
thinking about the mother Lost Files.
I know.
In my
I
imagination.
wasn't when I
which
said that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go on
See,
over
you
there.
just.
I was just making sure, man, because I had to get myself ready for the real Lost Files.
Yeah,
Like the Lost Files
our prep
episode,
meeting that they're talking about was 2 minutes.
it wasn't even 2 minutes.
It wasn't.
It was
So
like
if I
a
missed
minute and
anything, it's
42
okay.
seconds. If that, it's a minute and 42 seconds. But yeah, so Lost Files. So
Prep for
we
what?
we all know, and it is in scripture that Jesus was a
Carpenter.
carpenter, right? He was a carpenter, building houses or whatever. And I guess carpentry was different at that time.
Yeah, a lot of people they talk about masonry and stuff.
Yeah, Mason. Yeah, right. No, he's a carpenter. He's a carpenter. And so it's cool out now. He's carpenter and he's building the church and different things like that. But that was his skill. That was a skill that he had learned, a trade that he had learned and picked up. In those days, a little history lesson, those days, you become a man at 13. But they always change it. It was very, very efficient. One of the things about our culture now is everybody wants to be something, but we're not very efficient in making somebody something.
That's true.
True story.
And no diss on America. America's a great country.
Love it.
But then a lot of other countries are more efficient with their education systems, with actually tailoring people towards their strengths, and then making the important things important and the other things, electives. You know what I'm saying? We attempt to do that somewhat, but we have a cookie cutter type thing we try to put everybody in.
True.
And so, but there's those times they were very, very efficient in what was going on. So, pretty much your family, whatever your family was in, that's what you were into. Also, carpentry it was like the lower on the totem pole. So it's really like show what kind of background he came from too. Probably Joseph was his dad, but his stepdad. I don't know what we would call Joseph, his uncle Joseph or whatever. But
His earthen father.
Joseph, right? But he was probably a carpenter too. So he took on that same thing at the bottom of the totem pole, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
And so, but he had developed because he was a carpenter. It didn't say he did carpentry.
Right.
He said he was a carpenter, which means he had gone through whatever he had to go through to actually qualify as a bona fide carpenter.
Yeah.
Now Lost Files. That's from the time that we heard about a nativity scene and him being born.
Yeah.
And the last thing we heard was him being 12-year-old in the synagogue, messing their head up. You know what I'm saying?
Busting their head.
Busting their head, right? And his mama looking for him. Then after that, we don't hear anything from 12 to 30. So it's 18 years. Right? My math is right? 18 years in between.
Yeah.
We don't hear anything.
Years.
I found out it wasn't his. So 18 years. Every time I hear 18 years, anybody says 18 years about anything, I'll be like, 18 years? 18 years and found out it wasn't his? I ain't saying she a
Gold digger.
Man.
but she ain't messing with no broke. No.
With no broke, they
With no
broke.
broke. The radio version. No, but so now these are files, but we knew he had to learn a skill in between there. So he's coming at 30, and 30 is when he come to get baptized, and when he actually starts with the Sermon on the Mount, and Beatitudes and everything really gets popping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything before that, but the fact that he had a skill. We knew he was gifted from birth. God had already said, the angels had said it. We knew that he was gifted even being 12 in the synagogues. But we knew that also the man had developed and have taken the time to develop a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Which says a lot.
It says a lot. We live in a time where everybody gifted.
And callings.
Called
People
and
get
they're
callings, really young. Somebody might say you're called to do something.
Right. They be lying sometimes too.
Prophesied on you. He had all of that. Come on.
He did.
He knew a lot. You can tell from the way that he was at 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to learn another skill like that and kind of go under the radar for all those years, that says a lot.
I wonder if he's multiplying like
wonder-
2x4s and stuff like that.
I just like.
Yeah, we ain't
he
got enough
already
lumber
knew
for this
that.
job.
Yeah.
We go ahead and offer it and
know.
give thanks to God for what we do have, and then multiply this into more.
Oh, you ain't got no?
I wonder.
Here I come.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. But picking up a skill says a lot to what God thinks about us and about people in general.
Development.
And development. And I'll say this, a lot of times, I told somebody something the other day that sometimes just because you don't see something happening or because it doesn't look like what you think it's supposed to look like, the process, doesn't mean the process isn't going on.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, I probably said this before, but I love, the best way I can see is I love Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Not the one with
The
Jaden,
original.
but the one with Ralph Macchio, I think his name
Yeah, to
was.
point that out.
Danielson.
Yeah, well, they did it on the Jaden Smith one too,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't it didn't hit home as tight as it could have.
Yeah.
But, I don't have to go into the whole thing, but when he told him to wax on, wax off,
You're right.
he went to fight, but he told him to wax on, wax off. Sometimes you don't know that the skill that somebody's developing you in or the thing that you're being molded in is what will form what you've been trying to do the whole time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I know that in our generation and in the generation behind us, and just we have so much access to so many different things.
True.
You can start a business like that. I give you $500. You can start a business, get a website, be incorporated, all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy to call yourself a CEO. But if you're a CEO of zero,
Of nothing.
yeah, you're really not you're a CEO.
CEO.
Oh, what? Right. Oh. And so
Boy.
it's very easy to call yourself a boss, a company owner, a business
Yep.
owner.
Yeah.
It's very easy to call yourself this trait because you done done a couple of things. Or now you're a producer because you done made a beat on Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
And now you know what I'm saying? Or now you're this. In actuality, it takes much more skill to do a lot of those different things.
Yeah.
So we live in an age where it's very quick, very
Lot more
easy.
development.
Yeah. And so development is somewhat of a lost art. People are not doing mentors and mentees anymore. Nobody even wants to listen long enough to be a mentee.
I think they like the idea of having a mentor because I hear about
It sounds
that a lot.
cool. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
But their idea of a
But the
mentor is
work,
somebody that's
though, people think mentor, they think advice when I need something, but you have to actually produce. Like, you need to actually get work done. That's totally different.
a true mentor will not advise you. They demand you. A true
true,
mentor
yeah.
says, hey, don't do that. That's a wrap.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't handle that.
And forget about your feelings.
And forget about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True story.
it's true story. I mean, I know it. You know it. Like, it's when it's really like that, really real internship. People don't want to work for free no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you're realizing that what you're doing is priceless. But we don't have that concept anymore because of so much access. And so we're excessive in our goals and our dreams and our thought processes. And we don't realize that matters.
Yeah.
Like actually honing some skills
Yeah.
actually
For the
matters.
big picture.
Yeah, it
I
matters.
think Jesus knew that because.
And it takes time.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Right.
I mean, just think about all his years
Right.
of.
Right.
It's a lot of time.
'Cause obviously-
he could have sped that up. If
Well,
he,
obviously from 12 to 18, God wasn't ready. Why didn't he come at 25? Why didn't he come walking to get baptized? Why did he say he was about the age of 30?
Yeah.
It was appointed time.
Right.
Was somebody wrong? God was off with his timing or something? He delayed him or held him back? Like
but he
what
said
was?
he had things to learn and he had to grow and he became a master,
Right.
not just in
Right.
the religious aspect,
Right.
which we've learned, right? That he had to go through all of that too
Yep.
to become a master at that. So that's a lot of studying and he's working, and so I went ahead when we said we were going to talk about this. I looked up the skills for a carpenter, just because I'm thinking. Like, you know how all the pieces work together to make you who you are? And so some of the skills, though, you can see that in Jesus' character a little
Right,
bit.
right.
Like, he's a good communicator, and
Good
that's
great
on
communicator.
that. Physical strength, like all the walking, all the, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Critical thinking.
No, I just laugh because like I never thought about how much walking.
He did a lot of walking, boy.
A lot of
You gotta be
Yeah,
strong. Hey,
really
he
be
couldn't
in
be
shape.
no slouchy, like,
Yeah, right.
Now you had to
know,
really
Out
be
of
in shape.
or
he had to be
weak,
in
yeah.
shape.
That's crazy, but that's true, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you had to really be in shape because ain't no picking up no ride or nothing like that. Like you gotta,
No.
yeah.
Walking.
It
And
makes
he's traveling all
Yep.
the time, on
Yep.
the go.
It makes a difference. I also think his carpentry had him. He probably was he was very skilled at putting things or building things together. He built his team as soon as he got. The first thing he did when he came, he started building the team
Yeah.
Yep.
and started picking different ones. And I'm understanding that he knew what to put together and how to put it together
Yeah.
in order to build what he was trying to accomplish.
Yep.
Like it's so many, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy, yeah.
That's crazy, and it's so many different things that go together. But if he does not learn carpentry, does it translate?
I don't think so.
For real. Like
don't
he
think so.
he lived as us for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So does it? And then there's no to me. There's no part of the story that doesn't matter.
Right.
You know,
right.
there's no
Good
there's
point.
all victories, all losses, all waiting, all speeding up. All the darkness, all light, all days, all nights, everything is a part of the story
Ooh,
that
that's
matters.
good for somebody to understand for themselves, though. Like, no part of your story
No part of your story is
Yeah.
insignificant.
is
You know what I'm saying?
insignificant.
Every part matters. If you take that part out, then you taking the story out. and I want to say it again. I don't know if it translates if he doesn't master carpentry.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now that doesn't mean I'm gonna go be a carpenter now, so I can be holy like Jesus. That's the stupid stuff right there, right? But I'm saying it translates the skill that he picks up. Okay, let's go back. Let's go a little further back.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was born to Mary for a reason. It really was Joseph was in the lineage, but they were espoused to be married.
Yeah.
But he was born to them for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And I think that reason says now it takes you to that it takes you to that what's the word I'm looking for? That line of work. He'd be right there
That
behind
field.
Joseph in that line of work, that field of work,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then puts you right in there to the point to where it sets him up to have a certain skill that's profitable for what he has to do. I get what I'm saying?
Yeah, cause
No, for sure.
I think about even just working on different or seeing or encountering different job sites where you got like crews working together, and so now him being a
Right.
carpenter, like I'm prone to believe that he had guys working underneath him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And working with him
Or
too.
Working with him, yeah.
He had probably started off working under someone who knew more than
Right,
him, because
right.
you don't go in knowing what to do.
Right.
These
Yeah,
are
good
the,
point.
these are the processes. You know what I'm saying? And so
look at where you at right now.
right.
It's
right.
important. You need to master something.
Right.
At your job, or just like
Yep.
people, because think about this. Who are you if you're just all, I'm my calling, what they prophesied to me? If you just go straight with that,
Right.
you know how soft, unrelatable you're
Right.
gonna be? Like you're gonna be the weird kid.
Right.
Yeah.
No one is gonna want to talk to you or relate, or you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's all you know or
Yeah.
new. Them like, you need to come down and come work with us for
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah, and you need to be around people and see how to work with people.
Yes.
Right.
And learn, the different
It matters.
temperance of people, and
It matters.
yeah.
It matters because you don't even know how things fit together. How can all things work together? You even know how to put things together
Yeah,
if you
that's
haven't learned that. But see, hindsight, they say, is the best sight, right? And when you can look at a story, you can kind of look at a story from all parts and then be like, oh, yeah, and put all the pieces together. But when you are the story or you're in the story, it's more difficult to see the part that you're in.
Yeah.
So now somebody gives you a skill. I know for me coming up, there were some things that I was given to do that I wasn't too excited about doing,
Okay.
right? Or I didn't think it fit. I had these grandiose thoughts about what I would do. Who
You
I
ain't
would
want
be
work,
and all
bro?
that stuff. It's not even that. It's just like it's like if I wanted to do
Some stuff though, busy work.
well, if I wanted to, if I wanted to do music, or if I wanted to work with people, doing inventory in a warehouse didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
not talking
you
like a
thought-
warehouse with a bunch of people. I'm talking like I'm sitting in a room by myself all day long,
Wow.
counting stuff, and or I'm in the mail room. Like that didn't. I had no problem doing that for the sake of everything that needed to be done,
Right,
and
right.
I'm diligent at whatever was putting on my table.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see it, so now there were days of aggravation. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah. Just sitting
Wow.
up in
Wax
this
on.
room.
Why you tell me to watch these calls? I'm trying to whoop. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
fight somebody right now. So
Right.
why you telling me to wax on, wax off, and then you gonna ask me if all the calls finished? You know what I'm saying? It's that type of thing. And so people get impatient.
Yeah.
Jesus said this in Luke 21:19. He says, "In your patience,
Yeah.
possess you."
Yep.
Yep.
He says, "Possess ye your souls," but we read it so fast. He really said, "In your patience, possess you." Your souls.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so being patient, being even keeled, even demeanor and everything makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it is today that's preparing you for something tomorrow.
You have no idea.
No idea.
And it doesn't look like, listen,
Wait, look, we all got stories. You have no
what?
idea.
Listen, a seed.
Listen.
A seed
Right.
looks nothing like a fruit.
Right.
Nope.
Not at all.
A seed looks nothing like a plant.
Yeah.
A seed looks nothing like a tree.
And it looks insignificant.
It looks insignificant. It looks
Word.
nothing like any of those things. Yet inside of it is the transformation, and those things grow from it. But you can't discredit the seed time.
Right.
Skill time, a lot of time is seed time.
Yeah, bro. I saw a thing the other day, man, and I was actually reading. I was reading a book, and it was talking about like bamboo timber,
Yeah.
and it was saying how it can grow up to 90 feet in 60 days, but once it's planted, it takes 3 years before it even breaks through the ground.
Wow.
Wait, say it again?
Like a
The
bamboo
bamboo tree?
timber,
Yeah.
it take 3 years before it break through the ground.
Bro, I got a book called
crazy.
The Bamboo, something I'll find it on my phone before we finish. But it starts talking about that.
Yeah,
Take 3 years.
for it to even break through the ground. But in that 3 years, like you got to be watering and tending
You gotta
to
work
it
it.
all the time, bro.
Consistency. That
And,
tells
and you don't see nothing for 3 years. You don't see nothing. You went out there.
Somebody would told
let
you
me
give
water
up,
that.
man.
Yeah,
You
like you need
give
to stop.
up.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
need to
gonna
quit, bro.
grow.
You need to quit, bro. But you out there 3
Especially
years
if they
and you don't
don't
see
know
nothing.
what you growing. Mm-hmm. Man.
They say, man, you planted that 2 years ago and you still ain't seen
Listen.
nothing.
Hey,
You
they
need to
did
give it
that.
up.
Hey, they did that. I'm perfect example. They did that with Noah.
Sure
yeah.
did.
When Noah was building the ark, they
Yeah.
was like, "You tripping? Like, what are you
Right.
doing?" He built that for some years.
Boy, it ain't raining.
But yeah, rain? What is rain?
But
Yeah,
it
what
was
you talking
never
about?
raining. Like that's like so far fetched.
Trying to tell everybody
Like,
something
it
about the
don't
fall
even
from the
happen
sky.
like that.
Something like Chicken
Right.
Little. Remember Chicken Little? Something like that. Yeah.
Boy, you stupid.
Boy, you tripping. You tripping.
Listen.
But they don't know what you're growing, which is why identity is important. Because you have to know what you're growing and keep the people out your ears.
Yep.
You have to apply yourself.
You have to apply yourself.
100%. That's really the only way.
Yep,
If the
that's-
seed never committed,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying?
And I think too. I think it's a
crazy.
blessing. It's a blessing. A lot of times we miss out on our blessings because we're looking for a blessing by society's definition, and we don't realize that first of all, the word blessing really means in the original. It really means to kneel. It really means a kneel. Like it really means a submission or surrender.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest blessings you can have is somebody in your life that's in front of you or around you that can place you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That can place
good.
you in a position, can see something in you, and they may not know why they're placing you there. I've had story after story about that.
Yeah.
And I have stories of somebody doing that with me, and I have stories of doing that with other people. I have stories of doing that with people, and they didn't know, so they didn't pay attention, so they lost.
Yep.
I have stories of people that won big time,
Yep.
but we didn't know. But you
At the
got
time,
at the
in the
time.
moment.
But if you can trust, you can trust somebody's placing you there.
Planting
It makes a
you.
difference.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep, I got you.
But those moments,
100%.
You
those
need to
moments,
know too.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
somebody is planning you somewhere in something, it could just be a small opportunity. It could be like a one ask.
Yep.
Can you do this?
Yep.
Maybe you're seeing that moment. Maybe that's you being planted.
Yep.
Will you commit and follow through? I mean, really 100% and do
Right, right.
above and beyond.
Right.
And during that whole time, it's building you.
It's building you.
Building
Carpenter.
you. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they call him the master
builder.
builder.
Yeah,
Right. He's
Yeah.
building you. I think what I love about Jesus too is they eliminated excuses. So, somebody can say that I want to go off and do all these great things, right? But you don't realize there were some years that none of the great things were happening or recorded at least. And you out there building houses.
Yeah.
Come on.
You out there building houses for other people. Somebody told me, you remember they said he grew in, shout out to Swag, he grew in favor and stature with me. He grew in favor.
Yeah.
Some of that favor might have been, that's good point, might have been good customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah.
Right, with some of the people.
He's like,
But
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
And I
You
had a
ready?
thought,
We rolling?
I forgot it. It's gonna come back to me.
Yeah, we
gonna
back.
come
No,
back.
no, it's cool. It's cool.
somebody about the day.
Let's see the-
Boy, you dumb.
That boy sound like a Dragon Ball Z call out, boy.
It's the anime.
It's the anime. It's the anime got that
Bro, we went to
Hey.
IMAX to see that.
Hey.
I had never seen nothing like anime or nothing like that. I was like, why they howling?
What's Broly? Which one we saw? The Broly one?
Y'all
Or
saw,
Broly?
y'all saw anime and IMAX?
Bruh, it
In
was
New
what?
Orleans.
Bro, y'all serious.
Dragon Ball Z.
Y'all serious.
I don't know why I was there.
We just got in the car. I was like, I bought everybody some tickets. Let's go.
Let go.
They
Y'all
I
drove
love
to
it,
New
though.
Orleans and went to see
To
it.
the
Yo,
IMAX.
it was late too, like 10 o'clock at night.
That one in Harahan, and the one right over there in Harahan, right over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all wild.
You wildin'. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. You wildin'. I'm wildin'.
Yeah, people are like-
Nah, but it's good. Skills. So skills.
Skills.
So developing a skill has everything to do, and you don't always know what it has effect to do later on in your life. Right now will not always be the thing you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I learned that, boy. I'm saying,
Absolutely.
and I have a lot
Hit the
of
switch.
thank you, Lords, for the stuff that I did pick up.
yeah.
that helped me for who I am now.
Yep.
And I believe who I am now is going to help me for who I will be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or what I have, what positions I have to fill.
Always building.
Yep.
And you was making a point a minute ago about maybe Jesus had favor. Just because he had really good like communication skills, maybe he was doing such great jobs building things for people,
Right.
and it made him favorable in the town.
Right.
You know, I was thinking just whenever we say, you know, maybe they didn't record all the great things he did that they didn't, you know, between 12 and 30. I really don't think he was doing anything miraculous.
Right.
I really don't, because people in his neighborhood were still saying, "Isn't this
Right.
Mary's son?"
Right.
Like they hadn't seen anything. They've been living with him,
And they were
all this
astonished.
time.
And people were
He just
astonished.
came out of nowhere.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that
In
means
plain sight.
so hold on. So even though he was cultivating skills for 18 years, he was at home being regular.
Regular, bruh.
Just Jesus. Just Jesus.
Just
Bruh.
And hold
We
on.
really missing him because
No, but watch it. The humility.
that's big.
That's humility at its finest. Because watch this. Watch this. Now you got to realize the momentum and the stop it had, because you're 12 years old, astonishing the people in the synagogue,
Yeah. Teaching them.
Sure was.
teaching them. Then your mom says, "Where you was at?
Not today.
Why you put us through this? Come on up here, get out of here." Then we hear silence until he's 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey.
It's real.
If you got a good point, hold it. But I got a good joke right now. I heard somebody say one time that, you know, Mary had to be a black mama. We ain't hear from Jesus again for 18
18
years.
years. Oh yeah, you ain't saying nothing.
He said,
Nothing.
"Boy, don't ask for nothing. Don't touch
Say
nothing."
nothing. No. If you want
You
it,
ain't
the
going
answer is
nowhere.
no.
We leaving. You ain't coming with us.
Don't speak unless spoken to, and don't ask me why.
Don't ask me why. For
Oh
18 years,
my
bro.
God! Oh my God!
You ain't hear nothing from him.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
She had that on
Amen.
lock.
Boy, on lock, man.
Amen to that.
Don't you ever
You're
leave.
special, but you're
Don't
not
you
that
ever?
special.
Why you won't put us through that like that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bet you never will again.
I bet you never do it
You
again.
never did.
I wish you would.
You
I
gonna
wish
wait
you
till
would.
you're a
I wish you
man.
would.
Yeah. Nah, back to your good point.
Nah, but that's real. That's real. So his mother actually, black mama, but his mother actually protected him.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Protected him from premature. I just watched the thing. Okay, and it's funny. Thanks God. I was watching. I follow Kurt Franklin on Instagram, and so
Okay.
he'll sometimes he'll talk and
your
he'll
face.
talk. God, it's funny.
Do you?
But he says this. He says he started talking just now. I walked out a little while earlier.
Really?
Yeah. And I went on. He said, you know, he said sometimes you have to respect and appreciate the process that God puts you through. He said, and to stop trying to get your fruit out of season. Because if you eat fruit before it's ready to be eaten, it can make you sick.
Yep.
And if you don't let God mature you, then if He gives things to you that you want before you mature, it may take you away from Him. And it's funny, there's fruit on the tree too, which they ate it because they said they wanted to be like God in Genesis. But it was something that He said that because the process is everything.
Yep.
And so instead of believing in the product,
Come on.
you should put your faith in the process.
Process.
Right?
See?
Because when you put your faith in the process, look, production is product is a result.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's all it
it's
is.
an effect.
Uh-huh.
But if you put your faith in the process and just trust it, trust the process, believe in the process, believe in the person and the purpose and the process.
Yep.
Then it goes on. It keeps you. It makes me think about the point that it keeps you from being premature. Now, what I know about Jewish culture, as far as I know at the time, is what I know that is if at 13 you become a man, then there are some things that Jesus probably was saying that they wanted to kill him for.
Yeah. But
But he was a kid.
Too early. And they probably would have had way more access to him.
Right.
Because he was a kid.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like, he's not moving around like he was at 30.
Right.
Right.
But see, you make 13, now we can kill you like a man, and we can hold you according to the law. It's almost like right now when somebody commits a crime, they're juveniles.
Yeah.
But once you make 18,
it's over with.
that's a wrap. You get the full penalty of the law according to being a man.
Yeah.
And so the same thing. So now even then, his mom is protecting him and say, hey, listen, calm down. I know you got a gift, but let me give you a skill.
Yeah.
Man, and you know what? No matter how powerful you
yeah?
think you are, you
Oh,
still
my
gotta
God.
listen to somebody.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I see.
No, you still need to
This
listen
is
to
God.
somebody. No, it trains you because you
Had a
don't know.
mama.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, he
Saying,
God.
calm down. You know what I'm saying?
God in the flesh saying, come here.
Loved
That's
him and
you.
protected him.
Yeah, love him and protected him. And although you have a gift, I'm gonna say it again. I've got to give you a skill. Now watch this. Not even a skill. You ready?
Ready?
I have to make you skillful with your gift.
Yeah.
Because you can have something but not know how to use it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
And then you become reckless
Yeah.
with the
Welcome
gift.
to the world.
Welcome to the world. Yeah. Real.
Right.
Real.
Really.
And it's a beautiful process. I think people need to embrace, again, the process. Embrace training. When somebody's showing you something or teaching you something, not everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you also got these people out here that just
Everybody ain't qualified.
they just want to be a mentor. They want to have somebody under them so they can feel like they're somebody.
For cap,
Hey,
All cap,
that's really what that's all for.
cap free,
I'm
right?
teaching them everything I know.
Yeah, like come on, man.
What do you really know? What you got?
Right.
Did you go get them though? That's totally different.
And they be wanting the credit, and they want the credit.
Yeah.
They want the credit, you know. And it's not about that.
Nope.
So not everybody, but when you do come across something that's legit and genuine,
Yep.
don't be afraid to be placed somewhere that may be out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I talked to some of my guys. I talked to Jam and Caleb and some of the guys. Darius is a perfect example. I mean, shout out to Swag. Swag came over there. Swag was a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? But he just started hanging around and started kicking it. I put him all kind of different places.
Yeah, and he was like a dope mechanic though.
Yeah, he was like, he's like really good at it. Right, really good at it.
They was being noticed for
Right,
great
right.
work
And
stuff.
considering, and we had a conversation, you followed me home one day, we had a conversation considering going to like aeronautical training in schools just to build plane engines and stuff like that. Because you're trying to figure out, everybody's trying to figure out where to go. And so I said, well, we can pray about it or whatever. We talked in the parking lot. Then when we came back, I just kept on putting him on the board to run the board for in the studio. Just me and him run the board.
Yeah.
And then one day I started having to do something with some videography and videographics and different things of that nature. So I was working on it and I was doing what I had to do at the moment. So I got good at it because I was needed for it.
Yeah. And I still won't see the proof of that, bro. Because you be talking about your Final Cut skills, but
Hey
I ain't
bro,
seen them yet,
hey bro,
That's
listen,
funny.
listen,
Yeah, bro.
listen, act swag,
Let me
act
tell you
swag.
this story.
Act swag. Now you gotta really hold on now, hold on.
He was putting clips together.
Hold on.
Putting clips
Let me
together.
set it on the
Hold on.
timeline.
First of all,
Let me put some music behind it.
He got that part. He got
Let me
that
add
part.
an intro. That one was finished with that video.
hell. What I'm saying is,
I got so many jokes in my head.
hell.
Let me put a transition.
All of a sudden, hey, let's put a fade.
Ooh,
Put
look
a
at that
fade,
cross
put a
dissolve, boy.
Hey, I was killing them too. I don't care what y'all say. I was killing them cross off. Fade in,
My shadow type
fade to
too.
black.
My shadow type he the type that use all the transitions.
And then I'm gonna show you. Then I'm gonna send it to
Different one
you.
every scene.
Then I'm gonna bounce down and text to you talking about I'm killing them with this one. What you mean? What you mean?
Look at these swipes.
So of course, according to the jokes, and which is the truth, so that's why I can take them so well. I was not as good as Swag is. But I was just an intro anyway.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I feel you.
I was just an intro. I was a catalyst to something bigger. You feel what I'm saying? I was a planter at the time.
Hey, come on.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my job to be. But anyway, I put him on the computer one day.
It's okay, baby.
And I forgot what we was editing. Shut up, man. Okay, baby, keep on. You doing good. No, but y'all so stupid, man. Y'all so dumb, man. And so he got on the computer and it took off for him.
Yeah.
And up until now, he's behind the camera right now. But up until now, he's doing all the editing. Like that's
And
just
he's good at it, y'all. That's,
right. And
Like
then he
very
ended up getting
good.
self-taught.
right. Then he ended up getting a bigger job. Major situation. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able
In
to.
videography. I just want to point it out.
And a lot of other media stuff too. And so,
Yeah.
but you never know that what you're doing there. So you have to calm down. You never know what you're doing there. So I talk to some of my guys now when we're doing stuff. We don't have to like everything that we're doing.
True story.
True
You see what I'm saying? Like
story.
you don't have to like everything you're doing. I rawed somebody out last. One of my little homeboys out last night. I said little homeboy was my homeboy.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I ain't put my whole self in it because I ain't feel like doing it. And you know me.
Yeah.
I flipped off the table.
That's
What?
the wrong answer.
I'm off the top rope. What you mean?
RKO!
What you mean you ain't put your whole self in it because you ain't want to do it?
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that. I would say just take all yourself out of it. Then.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't put none of yourself in it. Just go
Take
home.
your whole self, go home. Yeah.
Right.
Take your whole self.
You know, and that was
Go
my
home.
initial. That was my initial.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on you.
Oh,
You know
yeah?
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
But then afterwards, you know, the peace of God. and the explanation of Jesus, kind of understand and makes you understand. No, listen, you're gonna miss out on who you are because you won't let me show you who you are.
Yeah.
Just let me place you. I'm not saying I'm a great placer, but I know I got a place. So, and those things are the things that develop you into what you thought you were supposed to be in the
'Cause
first
you really
place.
don't. There's a level of maturity, of focus, that sometimes, you know,
You can't get no other
Kid
way.
is the best.
You couldn't
That's
get no
such
other
a
way.
good example.
Yeah, you couldn't get it no
He was
other way.
doing exactly what he was doing. What he did not come over there to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
And
he
but
about
it
to
taught
take
him
y'all
the
way back.
exact moves. And if he'd have been trying, I might have said this before and I'll say it again. If he'd have just been trying to do the moves, he'd have never done them as efficient.
All right.
Because there's a part in your brain, there's a part in your mind. You know, your mind is something. There's a part in your mind. There's involuntary and voluntary action. Voluntary action is things that you choose to do. Involuntary actions are things that are done automatically without you like blinking is involuntary. Like you can blink, but most of your blinks are involuntary. They just gonna happen. Your breathing is involuntary. You can take a deep breath and choose to do that, but your actual breathing, your heartbeat, now ain't nothing you do about that. That's straight involuntary. That doesn't care about your will and none of that.
It
It's
is.
going to do what it's going to do. And so the way we function sometimes, the most efficient things are the involuntary. A lot of times, the most efficient things about us are the things that we can't volunteer
can't-
for.
yeah.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
Right,
And we
right.
can't control
and,
it.
and many times we're volunteering for all these great jobs and great positions and great careers and great things.
Yeah.
But I need to give you this other thing that you don't even know. That while you're waxing on and waxing off, you're learning the thing that you want to learn. But if I'd have took you straight and told you I'm teaching you block moves and hit moves, you'd have done it recklessly
Yes.
and not done it as well because you'd have been trying to do it with your thought process.
So it's like
then
he's
you'd have been
building
telling me,
habits.
yeah, well, the same thing you'd have told me.
Yeah.
The same thing you said when you came and said, why you got me washing cars? Would have been the same attitude you would have had with, why I got to do it like this? If I was teaching you how to fight move or how to hit it. Why I got to do it? Why I can't do it like this? And you'd have missed the whole point.
Yep.
You know, a lot of the
Maybe it's your
But you trying to use a
attitude.
school
Your
for something.
attitude might need to get fixed just by, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
you might be
true.
mopping floors because your attitude needs to be fixed first. I mean, it's steps, levels.
Your-
You don't know where you at.
You
because
ready? Your identity is involuntary.
Yep.
wow.
The only volunteering you can do with your identity is surrender. Who you really are has nothing to do with your thought process about it,
Nope.
other than surrender.
That's why it's so
Oh, that's so
fake.
cool, man.
People force it.
People are forcing it, and what we do is we force it and we abort it. We abort it, it becomes premature, and it never grows to be everything that it could have been if they would have just submitted. Now, once again, not submit just to anything,
Right.
but submit to a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or a real person. Put yourself in that line. You know, me and you talking about some young people we're gonna talk to soon. That the time is running out. That you need to listen.
Yeah.
I tell people you better listen, because if you don't listen, the windows do pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, boy, they're just like cars
Absolutely.
pass on the road. And you got great potential, but you can't submit your potential.
Yep.
I put it like this: if you got potential, but you can't submit it, it's really nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, oh man, can I give my definition of
Go.
potential that I
Yes.
got from my high school basketball coach?
Yes.
That's probably the best definition of potential that I've ever heard in my life.
Go.
Potential means that you ain't done yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Somebody be like, "Oh man, you got great potential."
Yeah, but you ain't
You
done.
haven't done
I mean,
nothing.
you ain't done
yet.
nothing.
You ain't done nothing yet.
That means you got a lot in you, but you ain't
got a lot
done
in
nothing
you.
yet.
You got a
More
lot in
people
you,
need to
but
know
you ain't
that.
done nothing
You ain't
yet.
done
You ain't done
nothing
nothing yet. Right. I heard one of my this is great. She gave me great advice about her daughter. One of my ex-girlfriend's mama told me, "Don't ever date for potential."
Listen, somebody need that. Somebody.
She's gonna be like, she's gonna be like,
You helping somebody.
bro, I was missing it. I was blinded. I was blinded by the booty. I was
You blinded by the booty. You not by our beauty. You blinded by the booty.
It's not your beauty. It's your booty. Hey, I was blinded, bro. Hey, listen, I was blinded.
True
Because
story.
the
True
woman
story.
sat me in the house and
Listen,
said,
mama told you gotta believe that.
this woman
story.
sat me in the house.
Mama.
Imagine your mama sit you in the house. The girl mama sat me in the house and said,
Let me say this. She said, "Let me
you
say this, little boy."
you sure you want to date my daughter?
Yeah, she trying to say.
Why her daughter was sitting there? I thought she was trying-
Oh no!
Listen,
I thought she was
mama
trying to test
didn't
me,
care
but she was
much
really trying to
She
warn
said it
me.
in front of her.
She said, "You sure you want to date my daughter?"
Hold on. What did you say after this?
Well, you know, I'm
Hey,
thinking
I
you
got a
testing me.
question. I got a question.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah, of course I won't
hell
get your
yeah.
daughter.
I ain't say that, but I
You
said,
see your daughter?
look at her, stand up, turn around. Did you see this?
Y'all retarded.
Did you see what you created? This is your daughter.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, bro.
That's the best.
I got a question.
I thought the last episode was the funniest, but this one is the best one.
Bruh, I got a question.
So I'm mad her mama said that in front of
No,
her.
she
It
said
had to
that.
be true, though. Like, your mama say that?
Yeah. Had to
Well,
be.
it was, it ended
That's a
up
little
being
scary.
true.
No, that's my question.
But
What if
I
the teacher
delayed it
went?
because I didn't submit.
Did anything happen?
See, I
in the
should have
future?
submitted at that point.
Yeah.
Come on, let me give a word real quick.
come on.
See, I should have submitted at the point. God was speaking at that moment in an unlikely resource. But because I couldn't receive, because I
Yeah.
had dreams of my own.
Woo! Come
I
on
had
now.
thought processes and destinies of my own.
Yeah, come on now.
I could not receive the word of the Lord that was coming from a reliable source.
Wow.
Liar.
Ashata.
She birthed her. She birthed her.
Ashata. And then she hit me with the,
She was
you know,
the creator.
you should never marry or you should never date for potential.
True story.
Man.
That is, bro.
Because
that
you
is-
ain't
They
done.
haven't
Because you ain't done.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, take a step back. Everybody need to take a step.
Bro, nah, that's
That's so good, though.
That's the realest thing I done heard in a minute, bro.
Yo,
And, don't, and for the people who think they so worthy of
Yo.
blah, blah, blah,
Yo.
have you done anything?
Yo.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You, better, you ain't do nothing.
And a lot of people, they bank on that, you know, I got potential, like, you know, one day.
yeah,
One
but
day.
no.
Boy, when that
What
day
day?
coming, boy.
What day?
But
Can you
listen,
mark it on the calendar?
Bro, show where it's at.
I could be, but you're not, though.
Not though.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Do
That's
something
true.
with yourself.
Potential, bro. And
I hate it. It's one of, it's one of the most disrespectful things somebody could say to me.
yeah, disrespectful.
Somebody say, "Oh, you got a lot of potential." Shut up.
Shut up! Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I don't
Don't tell me.
hear that.
I don't hear. I don't hear
I
about
don't
my
hear that.
potential. I don't hear about my potential. I don't hear about being potent.
Nope.
Nope. I don't hear.
I
it.
want
don't
to show
hear
this
it.
potency.
Yeah, right quick. Right. Just don't tell me until you see it. Just tell me the truth come out. Right. That's
And
real.
back to the story,
Yeah.
Jesus showed up ready.
Well, he showed up ready, and I'm almost to believe that if he does not choose to be skilled or to be trained and skilled, then I can't use you.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the first thing happen when he shows up? First things happen. He get baptized,
Yeah.
Wow.
and then I think was it the Sermon on the Mount first, and then or was it? I gotta go look at it.
Wait, what are you
Did he go into the wilderness and get tempted?
Wilderness was first.
Okay, so the immediately after you
Yeah.
were endowed and said, okay, this is the one y'all been waiting for.
Right after, yeah.
I take
Holy
you into
Spirit.
the wilderness. The Spirit led him, by the way.
Right.
The Spirit of God.
Everybody wanted the Spirit to lead me. Holy Spirit, lead me. Holy Spirit, lead me where
Trust is without borders.
All right, I'm
love that
test.
song.
I'm gonna test all your borders. I'm gonna take you to the wilderness and bring you to the devil.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna test you with all the stuff that you like, and all the stuff that you,
You know, I
want, and
just
all the stuff you went to
realized-
school to get.
Bruh, that's everything around us.
Yeah,
Like a living state. That's crazy.
it's living temptation.
That's every day.
Fighting temptations.
That's
All over
crazy.
Cuba Good and Beyonce. All around us, right? Hey. I'm wildin'. Fighting temptation all day long, all around.
promise
you.
to be
so
put
I'm
on
going to
top.
take you. And the word temptation, I looked it up. It really means a test. It means to test you out. It's a test you out. It's an experiment. I didn't know it was that. It's experiment. So
Yeah.
now all the training that I did with you. And the skills that I put in you.
Let's see.
Now, before we go do any signs and wonders and miracles and start preaching about it and doing all these great things and being such a mogul or a boss, all this stuff. See, all right, no. For all that, let me test you with all this stuff that you want so bad.
Right.
Because you want to be a boss so bad.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And you want to be a CEO so bad.
Yep.
And you want to be a leader and a whatever so bad. Let me test you with that. Can you turn that down from somebody trying to test you with it?
Yep.
You get it?
A lot of times, 8 times out of 10, it's a no for me.
No, yeah.
Yeah, people going for it.
People going
They
for it.
are.
I'll take it.
Yep.
You remember I told somebody that remember that show Who Wants to Let's Make a Deal?
Let's
They used
Make
to
a
have you used to have the briefcase
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the one you had to pick the one that had the money. Is it the same one?
Yeah.
And they had to open
Deal
up, they
or
had a
no
certain amount of
deal.
money. Deal or no deal, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then but it had a chance to win $1 million.
Yeah.
But boy, them jokers hit that 50,000.
Yeah, be like, I'll take it.
All that 20,000, be
Yeah.
like, "Boy, I ain't never seen that at one time. They don't know Uncle Sam gonna get the most
Right,
of that. People
yeah.
it's all
You going
cap
home
on
with
TV.
9,000?
But you came to the show
Maybe.
with nothing, though.
But the Kingdom Show was zero.
Right, true.
Right? Them jokers be
So
I ain't-
anything else on top of that is free money.
right. Some jokers like, well, I'll take that. I ain't worried about that $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And it's that mindset that, well, I'll bow down to you to get all the kingdoms. I'll bow down. Now you don't even know this little dude.
Yep.
So he could be lying to you.
Right.
Right. But because I'll bow down. I'm hungry right now. I've been fasting all the day, so I'll turn it into bread.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom on you right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you missed the point. But I believe all the skills and the training and the time and the quiet years
Yeah.
prepared him with humility, so that I'm so broken down.
So he died before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
He died
Yeah.
before he died.
Way before.
Th-
Way
th- oh,
before.
come on,
When
girl.
we saw him,
Come on,
he
girl.
was
Hold on,
already-
girl. He died before he died because you know when he came to Lazarus, what he told him? I am the resurrection.
Oh.
Yep. You
What?
know.
He already was walking
He was already
reborn.
dead. He was walking dead.
Yeah,
Wow.
because his mama had
That's
killed
the real
him that
walking
day.
dead. Yeah.
Right.
That boy been murked for years, huh? That boy got murked for years. Years ago. Hey, when you died?
When I
That
was
makes
12.
sense, too.
12 AD. 12
AD.
BC, before BC.
Bruh.
Nah, that's real.
When God said, "This is my beloved son,"
She
that
might have really
makes
killed him that day,
so
too.
much
Yeah.
sense now too.
Now that I think about black mothers, she might have really murdered that boy.
For real.
Boy, you understand? You understand? That boy was in a whole other city, and then everybody had left. They had to come. They had to
By
come
themselves.
back. They had to come
Probably
back.
took 3 days to get there.
They had to come back to get him.
Yes.
There's no
And they could have been
phones.
killed on the way.
No, could have been killed on the way. There's no phone, no GPS. I gotta look for you. There's a lot of searches, millions of people moving.
Yep.
She might have killed that boy that day.
True story. I think so.
That might be why we ain't heard from that boy for 18 years. 18 years.
Hey, you know, it might.
Hey, that's real though, boy.
Yeah, we don't know how long the first resurrection took, boy.
But I know this one. It was a practice, the practice, huh? The preseason resurrection.
For real,
my
man.
God. Oh my God.
Nah, what you about to say?
Yeah, you about the son of God.
I
Son
actually
of God.
said it,
Yeah.
but
We
yeah, I
didn't
feel
hear
like right.
Yeah, because I was totally
right.
on the black mama killing that boy.
Yeah.
I understand. That was a good point though. But yeah,
But real talk. That's why when it came back down to that wine, and she was like, you know,
yeah, do what he said.
just do what he say do.
Yeah, he
do
he
it.
better do it.
Bro,
gonna do
you
it.
right.
On yo.
He didn't argue either.
He didn't.
He said no.
He
Okay,
did.
do what he said.
Hey,
didn't.
just do what he
gonna
say do.
listen.
He probably rolled his eyes.
You know, this the last time. That's why he said, "Who is my mother?" He dismissed us that
This the
day.
last time.
Hey, I'm not gonna have this no more.
I'm a grown man now.
You're not gonna have it in front of my friends.
Mama.
In front of my friends.
You gonna wait outside?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Say you gonna wait outside this time.
You went outside.
Go ahead.
We say Jesus, son of God.
Son of
What you
God.
said?
Son of God.
Bruh.
trying to get back
What I was
civilized.
trying to say was
Try 3.
Finally, when he got baptized. When he got baptized, when God said, "This is my beloved son," it
whom
made
I'm
so
well
much
pleased.
sense because he's already died,
Right.
surrendered,
Because he said he's
life.
well pleased, like past tense.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've already done something that they haven't even seen. You
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he about to do something.
Wow.
Come on,
You know what I'm
Nikhil.
saying?
On the backside of the
Yeah, yeah.
mountain. Yeah, wow.
That nobody saw.
So most of it, I told my dad one time, boy, you come out of nowhere. He said, man, you come out of nowhere.
Right.
He said, you came up overnight. He said, that's the longest night you ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most
20
of
years deep.
yeah, your foundational growth is always in the ground.
Yep.
It's always on the inside. Nobody. By the time people see your product, it's too far gone for them to do anything about it. Number one,
Yeah.
and number two, it happens in the dark, in the dark and in the dirt,
Yeah.
down in the dark dirt. That's where it happens.
Yeah.
And so,
Yep.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that, and I'm nowhere where I should. I'm just speaking musically. I'm nowhere where I whatever
Yeah.
want to be, whatever it is, right?
Will be.
But I know that there's plenty of days where nobody saw nothing. And so then when people come out and say, oh, this is so dope, like, don't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to understand the story.
Oof.
You need to
Right.
understand the hours that nobody was talking about it, and the hours that I wanted to quit, and the hours that, you know what I'm saying, that you put in.
That go back
Yeah.
to context
Yeah.
from last episode and
Yo, bro, in 30 years, we could do a behind the music on you.
Yo, we're gonna do it. We're gonna
Hey,
do it. We're
it
gonna
could
do
be
it.
done.
We're gonna do
It's a lot
it.
of
It's gonna be behind the music.
music.
All the music.
Oh, let me.
Behind all the music.
That boy came back, brother.
Oh my
Right.
God.
Resurrected. Oh, yeah?
I'm back up in this.
That boy
I'm back up
artist
in
name.
this.
That boy artist name changed 5 times.
Hey,
You know me? You don't know me.
You don't know me.
He loves you.
Delete that. Delete that.
Delete that. I'm
King
coming back.
DM.
Hey boy, last time she talked me out of last time, I was about to change my name to Iron Fresh Music.
I set him down. I said,
She
"Are
talked
you
me
sure
out
about
of
this?"
She said, "Are you sure about this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." I'm the ego thing.
Hold on, what you mean?
I was
Like,
about to
legally?
change my name. No.
I'm about to say Meta World Peace. I am Fresh Music.
Boy, ain't nobody calling you by your whole name.
No way.
Look like AI.
I'm gonna change my artist name to Iron Fresh Music. That's crazy.
Oh, okay, all right.
I just had this grandiose idea.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out. Thank God for counsel.
That was anticlimactic as a mud, boy. I was waiting for a story.
No, it was going to be a story, but it didn't.
Oh,
I said,
my
no.
God.
Okay.
I said, no, it's good and stick with what you got.
All right.
It's a good, you're in a good place, right? You're in a good place.
And what
You know
name were you
thinking
with at
about-
that time?
Is he fishing? Oh, it's DM Fresh. I was
Dim-
thinking
Dim-
about
Dim-
that. This is not that long ago.
Oh, this is recent. Recent history.
This was on 19.
Is it at all?
This was on 19.
This is not it.
Last week.
2019 though. 2019 for sure. But what precedes is building what comes from.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about something.
Mm-hmm.
When we started talking about his mom and how strict she was,
Black mama.
probably
Black mama.
his black mom,
Mm-hmm.
and how
Lord Evans.
we say how when
Hold
she
on, some
says,
people be mad when they talk about Jesus' black mama.
yeah, it's okay, y'all.
Mary was a
It's
black
okay.
lady.
It's okay, y'all. It's okay, y'all. Everybody, calm down.
Smack that boy.
No, but I'm thinking
hand of God.
how humble he had to be because he never. Well, first of all, God said he's well pleased, and then he ain't even done yet. Like he about to put you through more stuff.
Yeah.
So like you know how when you said broken, like he is so humble that when he say my time is not yet come at the wedding, like he's trying to say he not about to step out on his own for nothing.
No, like right.
He almost had a showing, like when he got baptized, and it was like, nope, you about to hide again for another month and a half. You know what I'm saying?
No shows.
And so
No
I
shows.
feel like his mom gave him that leadway, but at the time, like think back to when he was 12 and she pulled him in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's good. That's
You
good.
gotta be real humble.
That's good that the one that pulled you in is the one that pushed you out.
Yeah. I like it, yo.
That's cool too. I like that. I like that. God used the same one that pulled you in, the same one that pushed you out. I like that idea. I think the humility. I think the humility was important too because I think he was so. I think this is what going through whatever he went through is what made him be able to be so gracious to everyone else.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that happens because the way they describe him and when he's 12, it's like he in there like stunting on them boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like tripping. So I don't know if Jesus would have had an ego
Right.
if he starts at 15.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Man,
you probably
just think
can't,
about you at
can't
15.
tell me.
Right.
Nah,
You know?
you can't tell me.
Yo, I'm
nah.
I
pulling-
don't have no job. I'm
I'm
just here to
pulling
teach y'all.
everybody.
I'm not even old enough
What?
to drink wine, and I'm making
Girl,
wine.
your
out
hair
you.
ain't
What you
long,
mean?
girl. I'll make your hair long, girl.
What you mean? All the wrong stuff. all the
Hey,
wrong.
that's true.
I know.
That's crazy.
All the wrong. No one man should have all that power.
Y'all stop.
all the wrong
bro.
stuff. All the wrong
True
stuff.
story.
Bro. All the wrong stuff.
But I think over
They've
that
been walking
time-
on water for no reason. It's just been out there dancing.
Yeah, right.
I'm about to do a show.
Oh, touch.
Touch, touch.
He would have made all his little
Millennium
friends
Tour.
like his disciples. Oh my God. Quit.
Oh my God,
Oh,
bro.
bro. No, he could have been using it for all the wrong reasons. Then he would have really had to be,
Right.
like shut
Real
down.
thing.
Like shut down like for real. We gotta do this again.
Again.
And the history gotta repeat itself again. Another Adam, the second Adam was just like the first one.
Yeah, but like what you were saying, like I think, over that course of time, like I think he was being filled, like it said, he was full of grace and truth. I think over that time he was being filled with that grace and truth.
Yep.
So now when it comes to that time, like I'm already full of this. Like I already got all of this grace.
Yeah.
I understand the truth about the whole situation. So now I can be gracious to you because like that's who I am. Like I understand what it
am
means.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
Right.
I appreciate those moments for me. Minty moments. But it's more than a minty in my situation. But I appreciate those moments because I said it last time and I said it again that I pride myself in being a certain way towards people, and I pride myself in not being. I can have a lot of reasons to be uppity or whatever.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
And it kind of fools people when they meet me or whatever because they have a
Encounter you,
preconceived idea. But I think all of that comes from a place of, I think it comes from training, but it's not just because of who I am. You know what I'm saying? It comes from all those,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and it makes you understand and makes you think and keeps you relatable. I think one of the things about success and about position and about elevation and different things that we like to use is that it's very easy. You know, people say don't forget where you come from.
Absolutely.
It's very easy for that to happen.
Yeah.
And so you begin to lose your purpose because you can't reach the people that you were elevated to reach. Elevation is really down lower. You know what I'm saying? If it's so trippy. The way God works is so different than everybody else.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get up and then get away from everybody. We're getting up so we can bring everybody up. I got this picture I'm drawing. I talked about it before. That I got this thing where I'm like a rocket. And I'm flying up, and heaven and earth is actually bringing earth up to heaven instead of heaven coming down. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But that's the point of your elevation. Like, what's the point of going up if you can't bring nobody with you? You know what I'm saying? They say it's lonely at the
See that.
top. Well, that's your fault, dummy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That means you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the skills. Jesus being a carpenter enabled him to be the master builder of his team and of a new culture
Yeah.
and of a new way of believing. He built that.
Yeah.
Built it.
But I don't think that happens. You were talking about the skills
From the ground up.
of the disciples.
Oh yeah, the disciple skills.
Yeah, they all
and
had-
how
Matthew was a tax collector, I think it was. Peter and a 4 or 5 other ones were fishermen.
fishermen, yeah.
You know, and they had good companies. Like they they were really doing it. I think the other Simon was they called him a zealot, which was kind of like politics. He's into politics and rebellions, different things of that nature. One of them was a writer, I think it was. But they had different occupations. And I also noted that Jesus, in picking his team, picked people with skills.
Skills, yeah.
With skills. Who were
Yeah.
actually doing something already. He called them off of what they were doing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
That's
Yep.
look at your surroundings.
And then he
That's
I
good.
think one of y'all said he used them in their skills.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Different variations, yeah, different times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Judas had something to do with money. He had something to do with money. So Judas kept the bag.
Yep. Here's the treasurer.
You know what I'm saying? He would to make John go back and fish again to catch that for their tax, the money, tax money. And I think it was a point that no part of the process is insignificant.
Right.
Right.
And so instead of a cap, we talked about cap on the last episode, right? But instead of cap is also, I told you about that cow. The grass is always greener. You know what I'm saying?
Cut his neck up.
He cut his neck up trying to get through and get some grass when he's surrounded by it. And I think that, you know, you've got to embrace the moment now. I think that's what take no thought for tomorrow is in Matthew 6. I think is embrace now and do now with the best of your ability.
Yep.
Yep.
Because now won't always be, but now will prepare you for what will be.
Yep.
You don't want to miss it.
It's growing stuff in you. We can, I mean, for the sake of time, we couldn't do it. We can go story after story.
Right.
And some of the places that we're sitting, like even doing this RedIn30 right now, we did some stuff before this. We did the shift. We the shift.
The shield.
We the shift. But we never knew. Yeah. But we never knew. We never knew.
You remember Chip?
You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember the shift? I don't know. But we never knew.
Yeah, we was popping too.
No, we were popping.
Yeah.
We just wasn't diligent because I was. we were diligent, but I didn't see in the future.
Yeah.
But
you know, hey, let us, cause you know I'm cat free, so let's go ahead and tell a story a little bit.
Oh,
You know,
God.
like we was in the middle of a separation.
We were.
and so it was
I'm glad
it was
you- I forgot
yeah, it was a
about
custody,
that.
it was like
Like
a
a bad
custody
divorce, like a
it
bad
was a custody
divorce.
battle.
It was a bad
Ooh,
divorce.
they was like,
Yeah, they
they
wanted.
were.
So we was trying to decide which way
The
we was gonna
radio
go.
station wanted us.
And then the girls
the,
showed-
online.
the programmer.
Yeah, we was
station
going.
had-
Yeah, she was going online.
Right.
And so she was going somewhere else.
I
and she
forgot
wanted-
about that,
yeah.
bro.
And so
Right.
we
It
was
was
really
like we
waiting
had to make a.
to make a decision. Then we were just like, you know what?
We don't even want to
Forget
do this.
about it.
Let it go. Don't worry about it.
We ain't going
Everybody
with
keep it.
nobody.
You know
Everybody
what?
keep
Y'all
it.
wasn't that tight? No way.
Yeah, y'all wouldn't take no way. And these
Yeah.
hours is ridiculous.
And, yeah, but see, if we would have went there though, like we probably wouldn't be here right now.
We
No.
would have been. We wouldn't be here. We'd be doing something else.
Yeah.
I can think about all those things too. All the doors that were closed. Yes.
Yeah.
Several doors that were closed that I swore to God was the door. but they were closed for moments like this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here right now doing this. I'm just being honest because the fruit that's coming from it is crazy.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if my process wouldn't have been like it was. Would we be here? You know, even producing something like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so I embraced the process.
Stay digging.
Stay digging, and stay digging, digging, and stay hidden, and stay buried. Right?
Yep.
Do not dig yourself up. Do not unbury yourself.
That's good.
Because when you unbury yourself, you actually committed suicide.
And
And I ain't talking about crucified Christ.
another point is don't get too excited about the hype of your skill, or maybe your skill is creating some ways for you, opening some doors for you, putting you on different platforms. Because I think about Peter when Jesus came back and he brought all those fish to him again. Remember, he went fishing again and he hadn't fished. The day before, he didn't catch anything. It was like
Right.
the same
The
story
same story,
repeated.
same story all over
And
again.
right, okay. And he asks Peter, now that you have all this fish now, like, do you love me more than these? So I see that as like, he's asking us that too.
Right.
Like now that you have all this skill and you have all this stuff, but do you love me more than that?
Right.
And that's next level.
That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have your skill now, but
So
can
are-
we
so are you
take you
saying-
off?
Oh.
Right, that system.
So are you saying regardless of status or the expertise of your skills or what you've learned or your gifts and everything, that you got to love God more than your gift?
Yep.
Absolutely. Otherwise, your gift ain't nothing.
Wow. Don't love him with your
good.
gift. Love him more than your gift.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's trippy. in a
I
lot of people's
learned.
mind.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning to calm down and embrace the moment. And don't take any thoughts into the next moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And appreciate the things that I'm learning and doing right now. Because it's training me for something else.
Yep.
Always.
Enjoy the day. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the journey, man.
Carpe diem, man. Seize the thing.
That's the best part.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
I think we hit it.
I think we did. We did.
Hit it on the one.
Hit it on the
Hey, we haven't.
Get up. Get on up. Get
We
on the
haven't.
seat.
Oh my God! Just listen to me again between all the noise.
What?
What you say?
Oh, I was gonna talk to the people while y'all was cutting up.
Get up.
I was gonna say it's been a while since we asked them to give us some questions or hit us up.
So
I
tell
feel like
them.
She's like, I was just gonna say that it's been a while.
Jay, I know that. So go ahead, let them know. So go ahead, let them know.
You
I
gonna ask
basically
me?
said it.
boo.
I was trying to say it.
Go ahead, say it.
How you was trying to say it and you stopped talking?
No, y'all were talking over me.
You's a lie.
my God.
Run it back. Rewind.
Run it back.
Were they not talking over me?
Yo, we stopped and you was talking.
Nah.
I had already been talking while y'all were talking.
Bro.
Nah,
you,
we paused for like a good
you
second.
did.
Wasn't I already talking?
But we just said, you was just like, I was going to say, and while you were saying that, we was listening.
I'm saying you cut me off. I was. What?
I can't wait till we play this back so I
Can't
can.
wait to listen so you
I
can
don't
see
even know your perspective right now because I feel like you so hyped that you're seeing something I'm not seeing.
What you need?
do you
What you
think
need? What you
happened?
need?
We
What you
said
need?
the same
What you
thing.
need? What you need, Nakia? What you need from him?
I want him to explain what he
Oh
said.
my God,
what he's
you're
She
missing
thinking.
that
missed it. She missed it. I'm going to need less
Oh,
of
less
you.
of you. And that's my word.
Oh, yeah?
I'm trying to
Anyway.
you tried to set her up, bro.
And she did a hand too. I was like-
You threw the alley, and she's supposed
She
to
was
tomahawk
like,
that
she looked at it
mug.
like this.
She like, what is that?
Allie? Who's
Oh
Allie?
my God.
I don't even know.
No, but go ahead, tell him.
I
Tell him.
low-key needed more from him.
Tell him.
Okay. Yeah, so guys,
Said
hit
no
us
one
up.
ever.
I needed more explanation from you.
Oh,
Yo, we were saying the same thing.
we was.
That's why it's not about just my perspective. It's both of ours.
But you're the one talking the
No one
most.
man's island.
Montreal hadn't said anything.
I didn't say it. Did I say it? I did.
You did.
No, you
I did say
howling
something.
though. Like
I did say something.
you got so hyped that I was like, I don't
What
know
you need?
what you
What you
think
need?
just
What you
happened.
need?
Why are
What
you
you need?
atta-
What
why are
you
you
need?
attacking me
You
right
got
now?
louder
Why are
than
you
everybody
attacking-
else.
attacking me right now?
Oh, now you want to whisper?
Why are you attacking?
The loudest person in the room.
That's why I said.
Why are you attacking me right
I'm
now?
attacking
Oh my
you.
Why are you
God.
attacking me right now?
You got so
Oh my
serious.
Like, what did I do? What did I do, Nakia? Nakia, I've never done anything to you. I've only been trying to make sure that this
Oh
shit
my
runs
God,
smoothly,
let me-
and then
Y'all
everybody
hit us up.
says,
Instagram. And our email.
I'm literally about to black out.
God.
Bro. Yo, like I'm really.
Come back.
Oh,
my gosh. Yo, bring it back. Bring it back.
yo, I was really out of it. Yo.
Oh,
So they want to send us emails and everything.
Yeah,
We have,
all
I know y'all can tell we have such a wonderful time.
Nakia got a headache.
Good
now,
time.
y'all.
Go ahead,
There's
Kenny.
too much going on,
Go ahead,
dog. I
go
done
ahead.
said it already.
All right, so email us at RedIn30,
Yeah.
RedIn30, the word spelled out, at gmail.com. Follow us at RedIn30 on Instagram, at RedIn30 on Twitter and Facebook.
That's how you know you thought about that.
And Facebook.
DM me on the Twitter.
All that good stuff. Red30.com. We got some cool stuff planned. The next episode you don't want to miss. It'll be our Christmas. Are we wearing onesies for that one?
Jingle bells.
We got some
jingle
surprises.
bells,
We have some
jingle all
surprises.
the way.
Oh,
Fun it is to
We may be
ride
in
in a one
onesies.
horse.
and the title is going to be, well, you'll find a title
Yeah,
when you
you'll
get there because it's going to be,
Oh, dang, I thought y'all about to say that, man.
I was about to say
Hold
it.
it,
I
hold it.
was ready to figure out what it was too.
Well, it might be good. It might be good
You
clickbait.
see, he be paying attention.
I was like, what it is? What's the title?
It's going to be called Baby Mama Christmas.
Hey!
Wow.
Maybe. So, listen, we love y'all. God bless y'all. Red30.com. Make sure you tell your friends.
Baby mamas need love too on Christmas.
Baby mamas need love on Christmas.
Yes.
They do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I like it. I love it.
Baby mama Christmas.
Hey!
Hey.
It's a baby mama Christmas. It's a baby mama Christmas. It's a baby mama, baby
It's
mama,
been
baby mama,
great.
baby
It's been
mama,
great.
baby mama, baby mama Christmas. Hey, she wanna, hey,
That look like I
she
got
gotta,
that
she
tight.
gotta, hey, she wanna, hey, she got that baby, she got that baby, she got that baby, baby, she got that baby, she got that baby, she got that baby, baby. Now bring us some gifts. 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 Bring.
Go Danny. Go Danny.
Go Danny.
She not a baby mama though. She not a baby mama.
Oh, she's not a baby mama though. She's not a baby mama.
That's like a
She just
scene. That's
walked
sending the
in.
wrong message.
Oh my God. Hey, we gone because it's about to get reckless up in here.
Whoa.
Red30.com. We love y'all. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you for watching and listening to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you. Make sure you subscribe and share this with somebody that you love. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. We are RedIn30, so you need to be RedIn30. RedIn30, RedIn30.